looking back on that, just the naivety of me and like
I didn't know you
what I
felt
was
that.
thinking. Yeah. Because
See, we're still learning stuff about each
I remember
other.
getting angry when we had that conversation. Like, you know, I was getting mad about it, and you like we should take the deal, blah 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 blah, and then financially we were working on it because when we bought it with like cash. We weren't financing it or anything like that, so we bought it outright. And obviously, that's a huge investment. It's a lot of money to throw at something, and I'm like, I just felt like we were going to miss the opportunity. And that's something that I always, I think, struggle with, and something in my faith is like, I grew up kind of poor with that scarcity mindset, so I always feel like I'm going to miss out on like a deal or something. And so again, going back to the faith, and it's always a struggle. It's always something, you know, again, just kind of believing in the process. What's up, fit friends? All right, today we're talking about faith, okay? That being said, okay, how we define faith, you know, before you guys turn off the podcast, some people get very sensitive about it. Faith is us being imperfect, but striving to be a little bit better every day, okay? Believing and trusting in the process, even though you can't see it, okay? Now, that being said, we are Christian, so we look at it through a Christian, Jesus Christ-centered life when it comes to faith, okay? That being said, I don't care what background you come from. Again, trusting in the process, believing that you're going to achieve everything that you would hope for, even though you can't see it, okay? That doesn't have to be God, you know, Jesus Christ. That can be whatever other religion. That could be atheism, whatever, right? And we've all kind of had our life experiences that drive us one way or the other, okay? So, yeah, going from there.
And we are definitely imperfect.
100%. 1,000,000%, actually.
I think
so.
Like my biggest thing in faith is that I have to let go of trying to control everything. Whether, again, for you guys, like letting go and letting God, letting the universe take control, because there's very little we actually have control over.
Right.
And I think that's continually showed to us every day. And it really is having the faith that it's all going to work out, and trusting that process, and not just like in the gym, right? Knowing we just finished the Fall Spooky Classic and the competition, and trusting that our training leading up to the workouts is going to work, right? And I think we saw that a lot yesterday with a lot of the PRs and the squat cleans.
For sure.
You know, we haven't worked a lot of it. I think the last time I have one logged is maybe August of this year.
Right.
So just that process, you know, to bring it home into the gym, but like, yeah.
For sure. You know, a lot of people, I mean, we haven't done a whole lot. You know, we've done some deadlift and some strength stuff, but nothing specifically focused on cleans, let alone a squat clean. And to see a lot of people PR by huge amounts, their squat clean, and that comes down to having the faith in the process, right?
Trusting the programming.
And, trusting the programming, showing up, being consistent. And not every day is going to be a PR day. And when, you know, you show up and you do the stuff, good things happen, right?
We wanted to take kind of a little journey for you guys on our faith journey, I guess. I don't know another word. I was trying to find another word, so I didn't say journey twice in a row, but it is what it is. We've had a lot of things happen in our life. So many things. To continually show that we're not in control. The big one for us that stands out is buying CFC. The second one, I don't know if equal or greater, is having Gabriel, right?
It all kind of happened at the same time.
It did.
Pretty much.
So leading up to 2020, COVID, all of that, Nick and I had 5 miscarriages. 2020 was our 6th one. Had all of the testing. There was no, I mean, I'm older. So I finally learned that one of my ovaries was like kind of shrunken and wasn't really working. So that kind of played into it. But we were just having genetic abnormalities in our eggs. And Kinsley, in May of 2020, she passed at 16 weeks in utero. And we decided that we were finally going to try IVF. It was a very hard process for me to wrap my head around, because I don't know. I didn't want. I guess I felt like I was giving up by trying IVF. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it was a struggle for me to want to go that route. Plus, it's not cheap. Let's be real. And when we started the process, the doctors said to me that it would probably be best if we got an egg donor, because it was me, not him. And I just remember standing in the shower crying to you. I was like, I couldn't do that. Like, I wasn't ready to do that. That made me cry now. And at the beginning of December of 2020, they told us, your egg's not growing. Let's stop this cycle. Like, we had done some of the injections. We were had started the process.
Yeah, and that was just the very start of the process.
Yeah.
But if you guys have ever been through it, there's a lot of
build
medicines,
up to it.
build up, timing, all that sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I had taken a lot of new supplements. They put me on birth control like the last week of November, or maybe into November. I don't even remember. But we stopped, and I had already decided we were going to my mom's for Christmas that year, that I didn't want to do another cycle. I wasn't mentally ready yet. I wanted to take a break. We had spent so long trying to get pregnant, stay pregnant, then the IVF, and it was just like I needed a break. And I remember writing in my journal, at the time I was doing daily journaling in the morning. I need to get back to that because I think mentally that helps me. God, it would be so great if we had a baby on our own. And I just remember writing that. And we were at my mom's, and I hadn't had my period yet. TMI, sorry guys. And they had told us, come back after your period, next cycle we can try again. And I kept saying to Nick, should I take a pregnancy test? Like, I haven't had my period. Like, I don't feel pregnant. Holy cow. And it was the day after Christmas, and my mom and I went and got pedicures, and Publix is right next door. And I was like, okay, I'll get a test. Like, at least we'll know. And it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. And we get back, and I pee on the stick. I set it on the counter. And normally, it's like this weight, and you're like anxious, and you're looking at it. I was just like, whatever, it's going to be negative. Like, let me finish peeing. Do you remember how nonchalant I was about it?
Yeah.
I was like, and we both look at it, and I'm like, holy shit. That's like a positive. Like, not just like, is there a line? I still have the picture of it. I could probably put that in there. December 26, 2020, I remember. And then I took another one the following Monday morning because I still don't think I believed it.
Yeah.
And when we came back and called the clinic, the fertility clinic, they were like, okay, we'll come in and do an ultrasound. when was your last cycle? And I'm like, period. And I'm like, I was like, I don't know. Like, you guys put me on birth control, but I bled on the last week and I wasn't supposed to be. I'm like, I don't really know. Sometime in November. So we were guesstimating was about 6 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
And when they did the first ultrasound, and you guys, if you've ever had miscarriages, ladies, if you've ever had miscarriages, you know that first ultrasound is so, like, you're not breathing. Like, it's so heavy. Like, are they going to see a heartbeat? Is there going to be a baby there? Well, it was still so early, it was just the sac. So we saw nothing. And I was like, okay, well, from then on, I went weekly. Thankfully, up to 12 weeks, because I don't think mentally I could have gone any longer. And every week, I held my breath until I heard the heartbeat and knew this little being was growing inside of me. And at 12 weeks, they finally released me to a regular OBGYN. With Kinsley, she had major heart malformations. So at 20 weeks, when we found out, we didn't know he was a boy, that his heart was perfectly formed. Like, it was finally like this weight. And I knew he still wasn't safe because, good gracious, there could be so many things that could still go wrong. But that he had perfectly formed heart was like another big release. And I think that, was one of the biggest things that I had to let go of, was trying to control getting pregnant and control the process. And it was just like, God, if it's meant to be, let it be. And he truly is our miracle. And he just turned 3, which is crazy. Sorry, guys. I didn't know this was coming. I mean, I should have known, knowing me. But that, like, is the true testament for me. Just how many times it didn't stick. And, like, I think about if, like, he's truly meant to be here. If, Kinsley hadn't passed, which was awful, by the way, we wouldn't have him.
Right.
And then through all of that, do you have anything?
No, I'm just listening and
remembering.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a tough time. It's hard. And
excuse me.
For the guys out there who have had to deal with that, not only does it crush us and we feel defeated and helpless and all that, but then we're also dealing with the pain of not being able to do anything, right? So it's not worse for guys, but it's different for guys because we have to deal with the pain of the loss, but then also as a guy, I think
being able to fix it.
We feel like we need to fix it. We feel like we need to control it. And there's nothing more humbling than something like that where, you can't, there's literally nothing you can do.
And it never goes away.
It never goes away.
No, it never
does.
does.
The pain of that, holding, Kinsley in my arms, at 1 ounce or 4 ounces of weight, and just like the skin hadn't even formed. Like it's very graphic, guys, and I might throw a picture in, I don't know, but when you're holding your daughter in your hands and looking at her, thinking about the potential of what she could have been, and just knowing that for whatever reason wasn't in the cards, that she actually lived, it's hard, right? And to have the faith that you're going to have a baby and to continue trying is just really hard.
Yeah.
Especially when...
We started heavy.
Yeah. If you think about, for us, we got together in 2018 And basically from 2018,
Oh, good. Saber threw up.
nice. From 2018 until 2021, when Gabriel was born, it was nonstop, back-to-back pregnancy and loss. And so that's real hard.
It is. We weren't actively, to be fair, it's not like we were like, let's keep let's keep trying. But we also obviously weren't trying not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and during that, it was also, we were buying the gym.
I was
And
going to say
so,
during that same time.
Yeah. So we bought the gym technically, October 1?
Well,
September 30th?
But
what was the closing date?
Through the summer of 2020, going through everything with Kinsley, we were negotiating and figuring it all out and learning what we needed to know. Obviously, we had started coaching at CFC in 2019.
Yeah, late 2019.
Coming into 2020, we had sat down and the owners knew that we eventually wanted to own a CrossFit gym. And we were approached maybe in the spring of 2020.
Something like that.
About potentially partnering or buying CFC. And we did a lot of back and forth, he and I, and talking about it. And it was, not to get into a lot of details, we won't do that. We can't, I don't think we want to do that. It was basically one of those, here's our final decision and offer, and we let go of it. And if it was meant...
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And
but it was meant like, God, if it's meant to be, it will happen.
Yeah.
And if it's not, it won't. And we're going to be okay with it either way. And I think that was the final conversation that we had, because I know you still had a lot of questions about it. And it was like, look, like either it's going to be accepted or it's not. And at this point, let's let go of it and be okay either way. And of course, this is all happening as we're dealing with the loss of Kinsley, trying to decide to go through IVF. Yeah.
So in 2020, earlier 2020, we went through COVID. We were coaching here, and the owners knew that we wanted to buy, and so they started talking to us. We kind of handed it over, like, last offer, take it or leave it. And I think it took a couple days, a day or two, and they finally came back and they were like, deal. And so we started through the process of that, right? And for me, that's very hard because I was kind of angry about it. It's just like, how could you just not take the deal? Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I felt like if it didn't go through, like, this was our chance and that we weren't going to have another chance. And I think looking back on that, just the naivety of me and, like,
I didn't know
what I was
that.
thinking. Yeah. Because
See, we're still learning stuff about each other.
I remember getting angry because when we had that conversation, like, I was getting mad about it. And we should take the deal, blah, 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 blah. And then financially, we were working on it because when we bought it with, like, cash. We weren't financing it or anything like that. So we bought it outright. And obviously, that's a huge investment. It's a lot of money to throw at something. And I'm like, I just felt like we were going to miss the opportunity. And that's something that I always, I think, struggle with. And something in my faith is like, I grew up kind of poor with that scarcity mindset. So I always feel like I'm going to miss out on, like, a deal or something. And so again, going back to the faith, and it's always a struggle. It's always something, you know, again, just kind of believing in the process, being imperfect.
And I think that's like the difference is once we had decided like let's make this offer and let it go, and whatever happens, like I felt at peace with it. Like if it was
I felt angry.
If it was meant to happen, it was going to, and if it wasn't, it wasn't. And whichever way that fell was okay with me. Now
I would have been very disappointed.
I think I would have been disappointed too, but then it was like, okay, well then we have other opportunities in our future. And that was always our goal anyway. We didn't think it was going to happen that fast, but we had created a home gym in our garage, and we're seeing clients, I almost called them patients, out of our gym.
Kind of the same thing.
And we wanted to grow it that way, and it kind of just fell in our lap, and it happened. And again, this was all happening, brand new gym owners, like October 2020, basically. Found out we were pregnant in December 2020. I had a lot of, so we're trying brand new business. Like both of us had been business owners, but not of a brick and mortar business. And not some. It was also
me
hard.
Personally, like I had never really had a successful business. I had been a part of. I'd been a part of a lot of different multi-level marketing sort of stuff, and network marketing and all that, but I was never successful at it. And I think, honestly, having the brick and mortar business where we have to make payroll, we have to do that, where people are relying on us, actually made me a better business owner. Yeah. Because had I obviously I didn't, when it's just relying on me and I have a job and all that, I don't take the business as seriously, or I didn't. But then I got into sales with precision and all that. So I've grown over the years to understand that, business is basically just sales. You're constantly selling yourself. You're selling, the coaches, or the coaches are selling themselves and proving themselves and everything. It's the same thing in any sort of a relationship or anything like that. You're basically, every day I'm selling myself to Whitney to prove that I'm a, worthy.
We're still 50-50.
That I'm a worthy buy of her time and commitment for the next 100 years until we die. So,
what? Yeah. I mean, that was so hard going through. We come into a gym that was well established. Everything had its place. There weren't cliques, but there was just that.
There were cliques.
We were outsiders. Let's put it that way.
We were kind of outsiders, although we were welcomed.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, there was cliques, and the cliques were welcoming, but people definitely had their
set
people.
in their ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
People definitely had their people that they hung out with, and everybody was set in their ways. So when you come into a situation like that,
it felt like we were tiptoeing, navigating, figuring it out at first.
And especially at first, there was years of established culture and stuff like that. And in reality, looking back on it, the culture and business itself wasn't super successful. It was sustaining, but it wasn't successful. And so if you're going to do that as a business owner, you have to make changes. There was definitely a lot of different payments that people were making. Some families were paying very little. Some people were paying what the actual price sheet said that they should be paying. And so when you go into stuff like that, and you're trying to make the changes to make it a successful business, because nobody's going to invest the sort of money into a business to buy something,
to just be
to
sustainable.
to just be
get
sustainable,
by.
to just get by, to just have a free gym membership. Like, you buy a business to make money and to be successful. And like, I don't necessarily want to make millions of dollars a year doing it, but
Right.
it'd be nice to buy a business and have that become my job, my full job, and not have to do something outside of it. You know, like, that's only sustainable for so long. And so when you come into a business and you start to make those changes, it takes a lot of faith.
Yeah.
That
we're still going to have a business.
That you're still going to have a thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be much worse of a thing to do than invest that type of a money into a brick and mortar business for it to shut down 3 or 6 months later because you didn't do your due diligence, or you dove it into the ground like a freaking lawn dart. Like,
and I think that was so hard that first year in 2021 because we didn't really announce our pregnancy until after, like, really when we did the gender reveal. Like, people obviously, as my belly as my belly started to grow, and certain people knew, but we really didn't make a big announcement because I was scared. Like,
I mean, we went through so much loss. It was like, and even throughout the whole pregnancy, I mean, realistically, up until probably the last month, and even then, like, I remember I would come home from work, and he'd be like, "Are you sure everything is okay?" And we would grab the Doppler and
make
like,
sure we could still find his heartbeat.
Still find his heartbeat and stuff. And like, we had our own little personal Doppler or whatever. And she'd be laying on the couch, and I'd, she'd hike her shirt up on the belly, and I'm searching around for it. And it's just like, and that was up until literally, the last month of her pregnancy. And so to be going through all of that. And then also
and be new gym owners.
New gym owners and making all of these changes and stuff. And again,
it was really hard for me because I was getting a lot of personal attacks.
Right. And I think the imperfectness of it, like, we made a lot of mistakes, right? And so, like,
we didn't know what we didn't know.
A big one was when we changed the prices, and the way we went about it, a lot of people were very offended about it. And like, okay, like, sorry, the way that we put it out in the emails and stuff apparently wasn't right, because there was a lot of backlash about it. Like, okay, but we tried to be just open and like, okay, cool. Well, like, how would you like to approach it? Like, we have to get up to where this is sustainable. So like, everybody's got to come up to the same level of pricing. Like, you can't have somebody way down here and then somebody way up here paying a price. Like, everybody's got to be, it's got to be even, it's got to be fair. And so like, it's got to be fair to us too. Like, so how we try to be reasonable. What do you think is reasonable to come up to this price? Like, would you rather make this sort of jump? Do you just want to jump up to it? Like, what do you, and part of the thing was like, people didn't want to do that or be reasonable. And it's like, well, okay, well, I'm sorry, then like, we can't work with you. And a lot of people left, and that is what it is.
But then it was also hard because then it was like, oh, now you're trying to backtrack, and it was like, well, yeah, like, we're admitting that we screwed it up.
Mistake.
Like, it has nothing to do with trying to backtrack. Like, no, we are still doing the thing, but okay, we went about it the wrong way. Like, when we read what we wrote, it made sense to us because we knew what we were trying to say.
Yeah.
And we just went about it. I mean, again, we don't know what we don't know. And of course, at this time, again, not a lot of people knew I was pregnant. So it was like the emotional part of it for me was so draining. And I questioned a lot if we had even done the right thing with buying the gym, with then making these changes.
Yeah.
Like, it was like one of those. And then we did have a lot of people leave. And so it was like, oh my gosh, are we going to have a gym? Like, what did we do?
I mean, it was definitely a scary time.
Like,
in that particular thing. It's like, but at the same time, from like COVID in 2020 till like at least mid 2021, maybe even to 2022, people were just unreasonable. I remember coming back from work a lot of nights because they were running us ragged with emergency calls and stuff like that with precision. And it'd be midnight, and I'm coming home from a call freaking an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And people don't want to pay money. You know, it's 12 o'clock at night. I've been working since 8 o'clock that morning, and they just didn't want to pay for a service call and stuff. And I'm like, I was just over it. And I wasn't getting paid for that drive time or anything like that, just because of the pay structure of the company and stuff. It was just like, it was absolutely ridiculous. There was a lot of unreasonable stuff happening, which obviously jaded me, I think, throughout that time.
It definitely was a lot of, we had to have a lot of faith that we were going to continue having a business. And really through 2021, making those changes and kind of seeing where we were, and thankfully having invested a little bit of extra money on top of what we paid for it to have helped. And then, of course, we had Gabriel in September of 2021. Yeah. And so then it was, he's working Precision, his full-time job. And then I'm still trying to run the gym from the house. Like, I could do all the back office stuff, but I'm not here because I had an emergency C-section. And I'm trying to recover from that, a new baby, him being at work. We still, have Malachi every other week. And it was just growing a new business, growing and then having a new baby was like having two infants. And it was really hard to be away from it and not have you here.
Yeah.
To kind of be the in-between.
Right.
And I probably came back sooner than I should have. Not working out or anything, but just having to work. And I really probably through 2022, it still felt like we were just gym owners who bought someone else's gym.
Yeah.
And I think as we navigated, we decided that he was leaving Precision, and we made that choice that we could both be here full time. As we made that decision, we navigated,
which took a lot of faith in itself.
Yes, that it was going to work out.
Yeah, so we set ourselves up. So just, in our life in general, we're very frugal with our money. We're very budget minded. We don't really have any debt. So we try and set up our life in a way that we can control things and not be beholden to a paycheck or to...
There's that control word.
Right. But you have to, right?
Yeah. You have to have a budget.
Faith without action is dead, right? And so if we just kind of jumped into it, who knows where we would have been, right? And I had the skills. I could always go back to do things.
Splash water all over myself. It's supposed to go in your mouth.
But, setting ourselves up to where it's like, okay, we're going to take, I think we said 6 months. It's like, we're going to go full time.
I think we said a year.
Was it a year?
I think
okay.
We planned
so we
it
set
for
ourselves
the year,
up for a year. And it was like, okay, you're going to go full time with me because I can't do this by myself anymore.
Right.
And so it was a matter of, we set it up.
We were up against the wall at that point.
Yeah, you have a year. And if we can't figure it out within a year, if we can't make it an income, then either we're going to have to sell the gym or you're going to have to go back to work. And neither one of us wanted to do either of those. Yeah. And so that's kind of where...
I just remember being so stressed out getting to that point, and it's just to the point where you're at this brick wall and you literally have no place else to go.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just like, something's got to give.
Yeah.
And we both wanted the gym, but I literally was here all the time. I had Gabriel all the time, unless your mom watched him. And it was around... So did you did you quit the end of 2020? No.
2022.
So you quit the end of 2022.
December 31st, 2022 was my day of retirement because it was a Saturday. It was the last day. And Sunday I came and worked out for endurance.
Oh, that's right, with John Henry.
Yeah, because it was
home.
my official first day
freedom.
of full-time freedom.
So
Which freedom isn't really free. Yeah. So, you know, that was something that's also been a learning process and a faith thing over the past, 2.5 years. With that, because, you know, I thought I was going to be coming from precision. I was going to be basically training like a games athlete all the time and all that. And
I don't mean to laugh.
Right, right. But that's kind of where
so naive and pretty.
I'm something. I'm something.
I'm something.
I don't think that was necessarily naive. I just think I had a lot bigger ambition and maybe not understanding of certain stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely I don't think he understood like how much goes into it. It's not just coaching, right? At the time we had someone else who was programming for us. We had coaches, but obviously we still coached a lot, but then it was all the back office stuff, the reach outs, the foundations, the people who wanted personal training. We were still doing sports conditioning at that time. But 2023 was really when we started. I mean, even before then we had made changes, right? We had made changes in the office. We immediately had put out shelves in the cove and kind of put everything in one place for storage. Maybe taking a video of the way the gym looks now. Like, we made a lot of changes to make it ours. And it's still a work in progress because
Always.
We did this year put a new rig. You know, they've had the same rig for years and years.
Forever.
And we finally just bought a new rig. And it's like, this is our gym. And I don't think we felt that way fully until 2023. This is ours. It's not just a gym we bought. But that took so much faith. And I know I had lots of moments where I was like, is this going to work? Did we make the right choices? Are we doing the right things? And I think for us in making the decisions is trying to put God first and then letting it go when we make those decisions. And if it's the right decision, we'll know. And we've made lots of wrong decisions, but we try to make the best right decision every time.
At the time.
And we're not perfect. This is our first time ever owning a gym. I mean, the first time that we've managed people, that we have
You know, that's something for business owners or people that are aspiring to be a business owner. If you're in the service industry, which I would argue that we are, you know, you think that you're going from having a boss, working a 9 to 5, to not having a boss and working for yourself. But what's really happening is you're going to 24/7, 365 hours, and you're working for 100 to 150 people, right? And that's how we feel. It's like we're trying to make the best right decision. We're trying to make sure that we can't make everybody happy, but we're trying to make as many people happy as possible while also making the best right decision for all of those people for what we feel is the trajectory for the gym, right? The path for the gym forward. And so you don't make everybody happy. And people are going to leave, and people are going to come back, and you know, new people come in, and all that sort of stuff. And it's a constantly moving, flowing thing, and so it's a moving target that you're trying to hit.
Yeah.
You know, and again, maybe if you're not sure, if you don't have this dying passion, it might be better for you to stay into a job, because you definitely have to make those decisions very wisely, because it is very hard.
There are lots of times I've looked at Nick and I'm like, do you want to sell the gym? Who can we find to buy the gym?
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I love owning CFC. Like, I love, like, this is my passion.
Yeah.
And it's not just owning a gym, right? It's being people's counselors and being there when they need something and helping when they have a baby, helping when they are moving. Like, it's so much more than being a gym owner, being a coach. Like, it's not just
you're
here.
Joining into a partnership and relationship with people in their lives.
Yeah.
Yes, they come in for an hour a day or potentially more to work out. But, I mean, we have members and coaches fighting leukemia. We have people who have lost people. We have people who've just had babies. We've got, all sorts of stuff. And you find those friends and your tribe through all of that, right? And so it comes down to the faith of also being a good friend, brother, sister, parent, all of that. And again, the faith of making the best right decision at the time. Yeah, it's wild, because you don't know that, when you just think it's a business, but it's not. Like, you have
so much bigger than
it's so much bigger than that. When you have people that are coming in and they're telling you that they're pregnant, and they're
before everybody else.
Before everybody else, like, it's the first, like, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm, that I'm pregnant. Like, I'm so excited.
Or you have people who are coming in just struggling and crying and
struggling with life,
sitting and crying with them and being that shoulder, right? Like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I cry right along, obviously.
Yeah. So, having faith in all of that you're making, again, the right choices and moving forward. And you'll know. And if you make the wrong decisions, you'll find out very quickly. But that's also a good thing about having a business and being open to that stuff, is that you can pivot pretty quickly as a private business.
Yeah.
We're not a huge corporation or anything that takes a lot of bureaucracy to get it. It's like, okay, cool, we made the wrong decision. Oops, let's go this way. I don't like that path. I don't want to go back down there anymore. Let's go this way. So.
And that, I mean, 2023 was a big year of growth in a lot of ways. And, at the end of 2023, we had another pivot point that changed, again, the trajectory of our lives that we had no control over. No, it's all gone. This is, I don't know if you can see him, Little Miracle.
Please.
It's all gone.
Yeah.
Go.
I want
It's all gone. Go so we can finish and then we'll go. Okay?
Come on, go.
Go get mommy's drink in there. I know. My can's all gone. I'm sorry. We drank it all. He's disappointed. We drank all our drink.
Yeah.
Story of our lives.
But, it's having... I've come to the realization, and this is, I think, something that a lot of people
It wasn't all gone.
struggle with, is they want to control everything, and they want everything to be sunshine and rainbows and easy moving forward. And, my personal belief is that especially in the past year, like, me having a realization, I think most of our life is supposed to be hard. I think we're supposed to struggle. I think we're supposed to sacrifice. And that's where the growth comes from and how we become a little bit better every day. And I think I learned that most, like you were saying, at the end of 2023 when my mom just suddenly passed, right? We weren't expecting it at all. Woke up, went to bed on a Sunday, everything was normal. The whole weekend before that was a fantastic weekend.
It was Thanksgiving.
It was the weekend after Thanksgiving. And Monday morning at 4:30 when I woke up to come coach the 5:30 a.m. class, I walked out of the bedroom to find a team of paramedics working on my mom, and she never woke up. And so instantly our life changed overnight. And right after that, as men, I think we try and put on a brave face, and I think we try and be stoic and strong, because I think that's what society kind of pushes. Men can't
show emotions.
Can't show emotions. They have to be stoic and this or that. And it's like,
to be strong.
Yeah. Sometimes the strongest thing that you can do is break down in tears and say that you need help. And a lot of men don't want to do that. And that's something that I've had to figure out over the past years. Sorry guys, I have tinnitus in my ears, so I'm getting some ringing. It's something that I would like to change. I think it's stronger for men to show emotions and ask for help, and better for us if we actually have a tribe of other men around us that we can lean on. And that's something that I think for our marriage has helped a lot, is being able to lean on each other, because it's not something that I really thought about before. I think I was just very selfish in our marriage. And after my mom passed away, and just me holding everything in, the anger, the frustration, the drive, wanting to drive people harder than what they were ready for, necessarily, like that all came out of the gym. That all came out on her. And the openness of our relationship, being able to talk about that stuff, she finally was like, hey, we gotta you gotta start feeling. You gotta start feeling the stuff. And so I just shut down. And that's not any way to walk in faith or show any sort of strength or anything like that, So feeling those feelings and moving through those feelings, and one of our members, this is where having that tribe around us, one of our members actually gave me a book. She lost her mom a couple years ago, and she said, gave it to me. She said, this really helped me. And so I read that, and thank you, Christy, because that helped a lot. And so feeling the feelings and working through the stuff definitely helped, but it changed our life. And going from that into, instantly she's gone. We're now full-time caregivers immediately overnight. So now we have the gym, we have our kids, we have our life, and we're now full-time caregivers too. So we're trying to juggle all of that. So this is why I say sacrifice, because I love my Nana, but it can be hard sometimes to not being able to really go and do a whole lot of stuff. Like, we can only leave her for, a couple hours at a time. And then we rush home to make sure that she's okay and that she's taken care of. But it's hard, and I think we're only meant to we're always going to have struggles and sacrifice and hard things going on in life. It's never going to be just sunshine and rainbows. But I think we will have short stints of that.
Well,
right? I think we might get 6 months, a year, 2, and then something's going to happen. There's going to be some sort of a sacrifice, a stressor, a life change. Something is going to happen that's going to rock your world. And I think the universe is going to show you, like, hey, you're still small. You don't get to control.
Here's how I explained it to Malachi the other day, because he's 9, he'll be 10 this month, and he wishes life wasn't hard. And I said, well, you're never going to have all sunshine and roses, all easy, there will be times that are happy and times that are sad. And I said, if everything was always good, you would take it for granted. It would just be, oh, my life is perfect. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to try. I don't have to change anything. The hard times help you to enjoy the happy times, right? And to not take that for granted.
Yeah.
Because I think looking back, not that we took your mom for granted, because she was, we were able to leave the boys with her and we were able to go do things. I think that last Saturday night before we went to Busch Gardens, like we were able to go just us.
Date nights, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and we thanked her. We were very grateful, but like maybe we did take that for granted, and I feel like 2024 has been our first year of owning the business again, because I'm here a lot by myself. I think in May, you went back to Precision part-time, and we had a lot of...
It was a little bit of a side hustle because, let's be real, times aren't great.
Yeah.
Everything's getting more and more expensive. That
Money
includes
doesn't go
our
as far.
business and stuff,
Yeah.
All of our rates for everything are going up.
Yeah.
So, overhead-wise, like, we're paying more for things. Personally, when we go grocery shopping, all that stuff, like, everything's going up. And so, having that little bit of extra money definitely helps. I mean, we don't necessarily need it. We can get by, but...
Well, we don't need it for everyday life, but the thing is, like, we are now, to put it in perspective, the weekend that his mom passed, the weekend before, in 2023, we were out looking for another place to live. That was supposed to be temporary, staying there, and we had been praying to find our next living spot, what that looked like. And God answered that prayer not the way that we expected, because we basically inherited this house that has been there since 1975, right? And things need updated. Things need fixed. And so a lot of his decision to go back to Precision is because we have to make the house, if we're going to stay there, safe and livable. Not that it isn't, but there are things that are original to the house that are on the way out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we've already we had to make some changes at the beginning of 2024.
Yeah, we had to buy a whole new roof. Soffits, gutters, all that sort of stuff. That's a huge expense.
Stuff in the attic and then underneath the house, and
all the insulation around the house,
and so it's been a lot, again, on top of owning a business and having a toddler and having an older son who's in all that wants to be in all the sports and do all of the things. And it's been very hard this year to balance it all. And to have time for him and I, just him and I. I don't know when the last time maybe when my mom visited in September. And I don't even think it was just me and you because we went to Busch Gardens with Malachi.
We took Malachi. we promised Malachi we would go to
Busch
Hollow
Gardens
Stream.
without Gabriel.
Yeah, so we went and took him so that we could run around and do all the things that he wanted to do without having one of us to have to stay off the ride to watch Gabriel.
And it has been a lot of sacrifice this year, and a lot of it really has been a lot of faith, and it really has. We've had to have faith that it was all going to work out, and he and I have both struggled a lot this year with letting go of trying to control it all and figure it all out. And I think just recently we were invited into a new program. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I guess.
I think both of us are scared to go into, but I also think that means it's necessary, right? Like if you're not scared to try something new, like there's not going to be growth, right? Like we're not.
Yeah.
Neither one of us feels ready for it, but.
No, I think. So we were invited into a ministry, as kind of a leadership, and we would be basically in charge of a small group.
If that's where we're led.
If that's where we're led, like. We would be in charge of a small group and helping people through this program. But with that being said, the program is a program of regeneration. It's called Regeneration. And we would go through it ourselves first. And I think, we all have our struggles and things, sins, if you will, that we all struggle with. Me being mentally, emotionally, verbally abused when, growing up. Growing up with pornography as a mainstay in my house. With my food addictions, the addictions that run in my family, all that's all things that I struggle with mentally, and so feeling very exposed with that sort of stuff, right? I think we all have our things that we keep and hold close to our chest, even though people may come off as transparent, which we try to be as much as possible, and it's nothing that I hide. But it's hard to go through. It's hard to say, I do these things and I am wrong and I need help. Again, going back to that faith thing. And so we will be going through that, and we'll see how we're led through that.
I think the biggest thing for me is that I look at our schedule now and I'm like, how are we going to add anything else to our schedule? But I don't know how to explain it, but I have to go through this. I have this, we didn't grow up, I didn't grow up poor, but I have a scarcity mindset. I hold on to money because I'm terrified I'm not going to have enough. But I have this fear of failure, but I also have a fear of success. And I think a lot of that holds us back when we want to do new things, because I'm like, I don't know why I don't want to, or have a fear of success, because I want to be successful. I want this to be something that's supports our life and our lifestyle, and that we're able to bring in, you know, the people and the right people for the right positions, and we're able to pay them accordingly while also still being able to pay ourselves and live our lives accordingly. But there's something holding me back from that almost makes me scared, you know, but I also have a lot of other things. Like I know that I try not to be, but I can be judgmental. I know that I use the curse words when I don't really want to or need to. You know, I can be very short-tempered and impatient. What? Our toddler asks us constantly where we're going.
Hey, let's figure.
Where are we going? We're finishing up, okay? Can you go watch and I'll come get you? Deal pickle? And then I'll get you a snack?
Go.
I want the dog.
Okay, I'll get it for you, but let us finish. We're almost done, okay? Deal pickle?
If you go, we're gonna go do something fun later.
You.
I love you.
The bear.
Here, come here. Come here real quick. Can you say hi? Ow, there's a wall there. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Say my name. What's your name?
My name
Yes.
Gabriel.
It's Gabriel. That's right. How old are you?
3.
3? When's your birthday?
The night.
That's
September
right.
9th, that's right.
Oh, what that?
That's the microphone.
I thought you want that.
It's fluffy. It's so fluffy. All right, can you go watch your show and let us finish?
The
No. Be safe. Thanks, baby. All right, go ahead. Woo! Splat. You're supposed to land on your feet like a cat. All right, go watch your monster wheelies or whatever's on.
Hot Wheelies.
Hot wheelies. Go watch your Hot wheelies.
Hot Wheelies.
Guide me back. Bring my brain back. What was I talking about?
You're talking about your scarcity mindset. And
Oh, well, I mean, I let's put it this way. They gave us a sheet at the regeneration meetings through Love Remained Ministries with several
it's a lot of circles and sins and things that I
things
struggle
that
with.
people struggle with, and I went through and I circled a lot.
Yeah. There's 100 different, like 120 different things on there. There's a lot of circles on my page. That's my page.
I have anxiety. I worry. I stress over things that I can't control. I'll wake up in the middle of the night doing, like, just having my brain going in circles about things and what if and what if and what if and what if. And I know that's not letting go and letting God. I know that. And I struggle with letting that go. Like, that's still a daily struggle for me. I know there was one. I'm going to lean forward. Hope my big old forehead's not in there. Probably this one. Unforgiveness. That's hard. That's hard for me. Because I think we're in a situation that nobody caused, but I still hold a lot of bitterness and resentment. Not towards you. Don't worry, it's not towards you.
I know.
It's hard to have a picture of what you want your life to look like, and then something happened, and it's not anything what you thought your life would look like.
Yeah.
And I think we all can collectively agree that we struggle with that. Like, it's hard to let go of what you thought your life was going to look like and what you wanted it to look like. And don't get me wrong, like, my life looks completely different than what I thought it was going to look like because I went to school to be a criminal investigator. So I'm definitely leading a much different life, but this past year has been a major shift in both of our minds, because it's had to be, and having the faith that we are doing the right thing, the best right thing for our family, and trying to find that balance between too much time at work and being able to be there with our family and our boys. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want us to be 20 years from now, neither one of our kids wants to be a part of our lives because we didn't do anything with them now.
Right.
Like,
And I think that's where my mindset shifted a lot, is especially in probably the past 6 months or so. It's like, work hard Monday through Friday so that we can enjoy the weekend and not feel guilty about not working or
yeah,
taking time to go do stuff with the kids and stuff like that.
yeah.
You know, we've got a big whiteboard. I don't know, it's probably that big, at home, and we've got some goals and stuff written out on it, on things that we want to accomplish so that we can have a little bit more freedom. And like I said earlier, like, when I quit Precision and went full-time in the gym, like, I thought that was freedom. And what I realized is that I'm just trading basically one job for another, and, you know, being full-time. And I think I had a misconception of what freedom meant. You know, and it's part of the reason why I got off of, like, social media and stuff too, because you see all of this stuff on there, all the highlight reels of everybody else's life, and you start comparing
Yes.
where you're at and where you want to be,
Yes.
and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
you know, the vision of success is, oh, you have your own business and do the thing. What you don't realize is that, again, you're trading a 9 to 5 for a 24/7.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it helps both of us are workaholics.
right, yeah, we both struggle with that. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know,
Putting our phones down,
Yeah.
not responding to text messages.
setting those boundaries when it
Yeah.
comes to business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But having the time, like, you can't do anything. You can have all the money in the world if you don't have time to do anything with the money to do the things that
Enjoy.
matter. Like, then what joy do you have? Like,
And it's not even that. It's not even having the money to go do the things we want to do. It's being able to
make the decision to.
well, but to be able to help more. Like,
Yeah.
I am he's really the big dreamer, but, like, in my mind, I've always wanted to have, like, a dog rescue, or specifically a pug rescue. Now, emotionally, do I think I could handle that? Probably not. But I would love if we were to buy land and have our own, you know, build a building, have our own gym, have him have his range, have, like, a barn dominium or something where we could do some sort of rescue, animal rescue, not just pugs, and have the right people in the right place. Like, for me, obviously I'm passionate about that. You can hear that. I still think I would cry a lot, but I mean,
That's not any
let's be
different
real.
than
How's it
other
any
day.
different?
Not any different
It's
than any
not.
other day.
I can't. And so here's the funny part: is I grew up, like, not showing emotion. I know
Yeah.
you probably don't believe that, but, like, my mom, I love you, Mom. She, in her job, was very male dominated, and to show emotion as a female was deemed as weak. So it was always one of those, you don't show emotion, that's weak. Like, if she had, I can just remember her going in her bedroom when she was having, like, her emotions, whatever that was, and I never saw it because she always hid away from it. And so I got, not shamed, because that's not the right word, but, like, almost taught that showing my emotion was bad. So almost the same as you,
Yeah.
right?
It's like,
And I think, Like I'm very empathetic. Like I feel things strongly for myself, but for others.
Yeah.
So like,
I have become more like that in the past year.
yeah. And so
God has definitely softened my heart.
with that being said, I cry a lot. I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. I cry when I'm mad, which makes me more mad. Because darn it, I don't want to cry when I'm mad. I want to be mad. But that doesn't make me weak. I get red-faced and I look silly and I have big cry veins, but it doesn't make me weak. But man, I think all the years that I suppressed it, like, they just come out now.
Yeah.
But I think that's our path forward is going through this regeneration. Again, through Love Remain Ministries. If you guys want to learn more about it, it's loveremained.org.
Yeah. We'll put it in the.
It's
one of our partners, so we'll put it
one
in
of our
the
partners,
description
yeah.
of the YouTube channel, and we'll put it in the bottom of this.
And I think for both of us, that's going to be huge growth. And I think I remember sharing with you that I talked to Malachi about it one night on the drive home. And he was actually very interested in asking questions about it, which warmed my heart. But that's kind of our big thing going into 2025, which is...
We can't help people if we can't help ourselves. And that's
we
the
both
thing. Like, we want
that.
For me, like, I want money. I want wealth and stuff like that, but I want that to make a bigger impact, right?
Yes.
The more money that we make, save, invest, all that sort of stuff means more money that we can give away, being generous and help people. Like,
there's
I
so
don't know.
much more that we both want to do.
Like, for
it's
me,
just
like, I
hard.
grew up, I didn't have money, and so, like, I grew up, like, you spend the money that you have, and if you have a credit card or whatever, it's just like you spend it, even though you don't know when the next money is going to come in. And so, like, for me, there was holidays that weren't the greatest. There was Christmases that, you know, my mom and dad couldn't afford a whole lot of stuff or whatever, and it'd be nice to be able to just walk around with some money in my pocket and help people that I can tell need help around, like the holidays and stuff like that, right? And to be able to donate a lot of money to food banks and stuff, because we had to use the food bank and get meals and stuff like that. And so that stuff speaks to me, and it's hard. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has gone through that, but I feel a duty to make money to be able to do stuff like that and help more people, because let's be real, it takes money to do things in the world, right? And so, yes, I would like to take care of us financially in the future too. I mean, full transparency, I'm not a saint. You know, I'm not just trying to give everything away.
We want to be able to live.
Yeah. I'm not going to give away everything that I own for the sake of others. But at the same time, like, the more money we make, the more impact we have, the more, you know, in your refuge, like, we can have a nonprofit that are helping people get started, and they can come help with animals. We can pay them. We can help give them a second chance. We can help Love Remained. We can help our church.
Project.
We can help everything, you know, the more money that we make. And so that's kind of the driving factor. It's not like I don't want to just be a millionaire, billionaire for the sake of being a millionaire, billionaire. Like, I'm not trying to be Jeff Bezos, who, you know, just wants to ride a giant dick out in space. Like, I want to be Batman. I want to make a lot of money, and I want to have fun, but I want to be able to give away a lot of that money and make a huge change too.
I want to teach our kids that.
Yeah.
To be giving
and I think for us, you know, that's getting closer to God, and I think through Love Remained and through the regeneration, we will do that. And it's scary to do that and to take on that leadership role. You know, sometimes we don't feel worthy of the leadership, but at the same time, like,
It's what we both have asked for.
Yeah, God wouldn't put us in a situation like we're in and open those doors if we weren't supposed to take them.
Yeah.
So,
and it's only through CFC that we have met Liz and Paul,
lots
the founders
of people,
Love Remained, and the people that have led us down this path. And I know for me personally, I have prayed for a lot of growth and the wisdom and knowledge to understand, I guess the knowledge and wisdom, the other way around, where God is leading me, and really trying to let go of what I think should happen and be open to where He is leading us. And I'm not sure I ever had I never felt like there was a way for me to do that until regeneration. And I'm not saying that, like, we go to church, like there were lots of opportunities for Bible studies, but I always let other things get in the way of that.
Yeah.
There was always something else. I either forgot about it, we were doing something else, like it's at a time that, you know, was inconvenient. Like I just didn't make it a priority, let's be real. And this is calling me, and I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, I think when you know, and that's what, you know, comes back to the faith, you know, having the faith that you're moving in the right direction. And again, if you're not, we'll find out real quick.
Yeah.
You know, it's like God or the devil is going to show you what you're supposed to do or not supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, and when you get punched in the face, the plan always changes, right? And so, yeah, I mean, that's what we're thinking, again, trying to make the next best decision for the time that we're in. And I think this next year is going to be a huge growth again. And, you know, I know sometimes you struggle with believing it, but I think God has huge plans for us. And it'll be in His time, you know, but you can't convince me otherwise. Like, I'm not meant to live a mediocre, half-assed life in poverty. Like, I work too hard to do that. And God put that work ethic in me for a reason. So.
What's my reason?
What's your reason for what?
He said God put that reason, the work ethic in you for a reason. What's mine?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I think that's what I struggle with, is not... Like, let's put it this way. I don't feel like I do enough, even though I then struggle with I do too much. That make sense. Because I do feel like I could do more and I could contribute more.
That's the thing. It's like,
but then I'm at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm done with the day. Like, yeah. So that's
something that you definitely struggle with, is by the end of the day, you've given so much that
I have nothing left.
You're very grumpy and have nothing left by the end of the day. So, well, I love you. But
you have your moments too, sir.
For sure. Again, hi, I'm Nick. I struggle with imperfection. So, yeah, I mean, I struggle with that stuff too.
Yeah.
I just try to keep it in the front of my mind that you don't deserve me being an a-hole, and I'm very capable of being that. So
I try to be too. Like yesterday, you know, like just go for a walk. That way we don't fight. Not me and you, but someone else. And it's just, I know I'm not going to respond well right now because I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
So let's just take a step away from it. And I think I'm trying to be better about that rather than just right away.
Yeah. So, anything else?
I don't think so. You were worried.
Worried about what?
Being how long this was going to be.
I mean, yeah, this whole conversation was just kind of spurred on this morning, so like we didn't have an idea. So hopefully this was good.
So I think this was God's way of telling us, because yesterday I was thinking about it as well, looking through what we wanted to talk about and faith and where we were being led. It's trusting the process, right? Like I had the thought yesterday, I didn't say anything to you about it, but then we had something happen this morning, and it was kind of like, here's your platter, sirs. Please follow it.
Right. So I think the next couple weeks are going to be about our core values. We have we have 4 core values: freedom, family, faith, and fun. And obviously this one was about faith. So
I have faith that you're going to change his diaper.
So we will, talk about one of the other core values, I think, next week. Hope you guys got something out of it. If you did, give this a thumbs up. If you could subscribe, that would really help us out also. I think the first goal is to get to 100 subscribers. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. On that
share
note,
this with a friend.
Coming up November 15th, it's also crazy that we're in November, we are inviting Faith RX to come in for a workout and worship Friday night. So that's Friday, November 15th at 7 p.m. It's free. Join us for a workout, and we'll worship afterwards. And come and check out. I think they're under new management or ownership. And the last time we had them in was on a Saturday. It was great. And so I'm eager to see them back and hopefully make that more of a normal thing here.
Yeah.
So mark your calendars.
Yeah. So
Sorry, excuse me. We got to go because there's a stinky diaper and it's making me cough. Oh my gosh.
So that being said,
also,
guys,
wait. If you have any tips on how to potty train my son who's afraid of the toilet, please let me know, because there's nothing is working. He's still in diapers.
Yeah. So that being said, guys, stay fit, stay safe. We'll see you next week, okay? Have a great weekend.
Bye, you guys.
We're back. He wanted to do it. So what do you say?
Stay safe.
Stay fit,
Stay safe.
stay safe.
Stay safe.
I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And then go like this.
And now
Perfect.